knockdown battle in Chicago 8 years before. Everyone's stunned by the fury of Lewis's attack.
What's happening, my people? It's Cast Sports again, back for another afternoon with the family. Now, as usual, before we get started, let me give a shout out to the JBT community. It's just boxing talk. We're a group of people who just love to talk boxing. And we're always looking for others to join us. And you don't have to have a podcast. The only requirement is you just have to love to talk boxing. That's all. Miss Cass, hashtag JBT, Mike Mazik, Bruce Gas Boxing Jazz, and more. Ray Patterson, straight out of New Jersey. Salute to everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cast Sports, the Boxtorian. Today, the life and career of Wladimir Klitschko. And you know what time it is. If it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's the Boxtorian, bringing you all that boxing history. Boxing is the greatest sport of them all. That's why we love it. Can't get enough of it. How's everybody today? Again, welcome to the Friday afternoon edition of Cast Sports the Box Historian Profile Day. We're going to finish up this big week of boxing history as usual with the profile. It's Wladimir Klitschko. I know I've been saying Vitaly all week. I was going to do both brothers, but the older brother first. But before I realized what I was doing, I was working on Vladimir last night. Before I realized it, and I said, oh, well, Vladimir little brother will be first. But it's still going to be a good one. He had a great career. What all the names of his era? They say he fought in like a weak era, but hey, that ain't his fault. With all the names, he fought Ray Mercer, Francois Botha, Charles Shufford, Chris Bird twice, Samuel Peter twice. Fought all of them. Lamont Brewster. He fought Hassim Rockman, Eddie Chambers, Tony Thompson, John Mark Mormack. He fought Alexander Povetkin, even fought Fury and Joshua. So yeah, fire resume. We're going to get into that about 2:30. But today, on our highlights of boxing history, we're going to talk about some of the most impressive boxing records. Some of the most impressive boxing records. And we got boxing tonight. Keyshawn, Dennis Baranchik, or however you pronounce his last name. That's tonight, a top-ranked card, Friday night boxing. Who y'all got? I got Keyshawn, but hey, I wouldn't be surprised if Dennis don't pull it off. You know, one of those, we talked about the Eastern European fighters last Wednesday, remember? Fundamentally sound. He's not going to be in there throwing all wall and being repetitive like Lemos was in Keyshawn's last fight. It ain't going to be that simple. Keyshawn going to have to be focused, and he's going to have to work tonight. I got him by decision, but it's going to be a tough fight. Dennis is defending his, what does he have, the IBF? I'm not sure which title he has, but he has one of them at lightweight. They all in different, all spread out, 4 different hands. We got Tank, Shakur. I think Tank has a WBA. Shakur has one. Lomachenko has one, and Dennis has one that him and Keyshawn are fighting for tonight. Thomas Hill in the building. Hashtag JBT. What's up, T Hill? Wladimir Klitschko today. I know I've been saying Vitaly all week, but I started working on it last night. Before I realized it was Vitaly. I was like, oh, that's the younger brother, but hey, it's just as good. He fought everybody. We're going to talk about 30 of his fights, 30 of his opponents today. But let's talk about these 10 of the most impressive boxing records. Let's say a little highlights of boxing history segment for today. 10 of the most impressive boxing records. Okay, let's get into that. Then we'll get into Wladimir Klitschko next. Now, the sport of boxing has had its share of legendary fighters who have left undeniable marks. These fighters managed to separate themselves from some of the greatest. They separated themselves and gave us some of the greatest storylines in boxing history. Today, we're going to take a look at 10 of the most impressive boxing records you should know of in boxing and the stories behind them. Okay? We're going to find out who has the most impressive records in all of boxing history. So let's take a look at it. First, the most accomplished boxer to retire undefeated. Ardari Pennant. Salute, Ardari. How are you today? Cat Sports the Box Story, Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., bringing you all that boxing history. Today, we always profile a former boxer on Fridays. It's Wladimir Klitschko today. But salute, Adari. We're going to start out with some little highlights of boxing history for the first half hour. And we're looking at 10 of the most impressive boxing records in history right now. And we're starting out with the first one is the most accomplished boxer to retire undefeated, Floyd Mayweather Jr. Now, Floyd Mayweather Jr. isn't the first boxer to retire undefeated, but he's the most accomplished boxer who never lost a fight. During his career, Floyd defeated more title holders and world champions than any other fighter during his career, with a total of 23 wins against opponents who were world champions when Floyd fought them. 23 world champions. That's almost half of his total fights, going against the best of the best. And that would give you a clear picture of what makes Floyd's 50-0 record more special than other boxers who retired undefeated. Floyd also won titles in 5 different divisions during his reign. Floyd's arch rival, Manny Pacquiao, has the second highest number against world champions. Manny fought 22 world champions, okay? And speaking of Manny Pacquiao, next is the most titles in different divisions, okay? Manuel Pacquiao. Now, there's a reason why Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather have been the two biggest names in boxing for the past 2 decades. Pacquiao weighed 111 pounds for his first world title fight and moved up a total of 38 pounds during his career, winning titles in each division. That automatically makes him a serious contender as one of the pound-for-pound best fighters in boxing history. To put things in perspective, Mayweather weighed 130 pounds for his first title fight. Manny weighed 111. Yet both men ended up fighting at similar weights, right? They started out 19 pounds apart. Okay, next, we're just talking about some of the most impressive records in boxing history. Next, most times winning the undisputed heavyweight title, Muhammad Ali. Excuse me for one moment. Muhammad Ali, yeah. Drop that a notch. There we go, that's better. It'll come back up on its own though. Watch. Yeah, most times winning the undisputed heavyweight title, Muhammad Ali. Now, Ali's performance, okay, let's see. Aduri says there's a lot much more better qualities of heavyweights now than the Klitschko's era. You're 100% correct, Aduri, 100%. But like I was saying, that's not Vladimir's fault, you know. He just happened to fight in that era, and he fought all the best fighters in that era. But yeah, you're right, Aduri. The quality is a lot better now. Yeah. Mike Rem in the building. What's up, Mike? Good to see you. Hello again. Talked to you earlier this morning and crushed the legend. Let's salute Mike. But 100% correct, Aduri. Yeah, Muhammad Ali. Ali's performances inside the ring were as impressive as the many stances he took outside it. He was the undisputed king of boxing more times than anyone else has ever been. It's part of what makes him so relatable to people worldwide. Now, Ali faced his share of adversity inside the ring, but he always came back better and stronger than ever. Now, being an undisputed champion in boxing means you won all the major organizations' belts, making it clear you're the best fighter in the division. Ali won all those belts. Excuse me for a minute. I'm always hitting something, man. Getting off the thing, but here I'm back. Muhammad Ali. Yeah, there we go. Ali won all those belts when he defeated Sonny Liston, George Foreman, and Leon Spinks, 3-time heavyweight champion. But Evander Holyfield passed him with 4. Okay, next. The longest undefeated record. Packy McFarlane. Here's Packy. Packy McFarlane. He appreciates you, T. Hill. Packy McFarlane. Okay. Longest undefeated record. If you're impressed with Floyd Mayweather's record, wait until you find out that the record holder has more than twice the number of wins Floyd had. McFarlane competed during the late 19th century and early 20th century, and he officially compiled a 70-0 record before retiring. To make his record even more impressive, he scored 50 by knockout. Okay, 70-0, 50 knockouts. Now, ironically, McFarlane never got a title shot. There you go, 70-0, 50 knockouts and never get a title shot. But Packy never did. That probably says a lot about the level of competition he faced and how poorly regulated boxing was back then. Yeah. Okay. The man with the most knockouts in history, Billy Bird. Most knockouts, Billy Bird. Billy Bird looked more like an average working class man than a professional boxer during his prime. Yet he holds the record for the most knockouts in boxing history with 139. That will never be broken. No one will even fight anywhere near 139 times anymore, so that record is safe. Now, Billy Bird, guess how many fights he had? He had 139 knockouts. He had 356 fights during his career, which wasn't that uncommon during the early 20th century. Now, there are no close, Archie Moore has 132. Now, there are no close seconds to Billy Bird's in modern boxing. Archie Moore has the second most knockouts in boxing at 132. And he also competed during the early 20th century, early to mid. Now, the record holder for most knockouts among active boxers, Deontay Wilder, right? What does he have, 42? Was it 43? Somewhere around in there. And the sport has simply evolved too much for modern boxers to compete with Bird's record. Yeah, that would never be broken. Nobody will even fight 139 times anymore. Even second place Archie Moore with 132 is safe, right? Melanin Queen 27 has arrived into the building. The superstar moderator, Melanin Queen 27. She's going to be keeping you aware of everything going on in this JBT and talking about that. We got a raffle coming up next Friday to win a ticket to the Tank Davis fight. And the meet and greet is 2 weeks from today. Today's the 14th. Yeah, 2 weeks from today. I'm going to play a little commercial on that in a moment. Okay, let's finish this up. We're talking about some of the most impressive records in boxing history before we get into the show today. But salute, Melanin Queen. Ooh, that would be something, Aduri, if Muhammad Ali was southpaw. Or even if he had switch hit. You know what I mean? Yeah. The oldest world champion, Bernard Hopkins. Oldest world champion, Bernard Hopkins. Okay? Now, Hopkins changed many boxers' retirement plans when he defeated John Pascal to win the WBC and ring light heavyweight titles at the age of 46. It was a testament to how well he took care of himself after initially retiring and his evolution as a boxer. Now, Hopkins was a feared hard hitter during his prime, but he adopted a more defensive style as he closed on his 40s, which turned out perfectly for him in a world where many professional athletes retire in their 40s. Hopkins showed the world fighters can still compete at a high level at that age if they put in the work and adopt a style that suits their physical limitations. But 46 wasn't it. He broke his own record at 48, remember? And then he broke it again at 49. So the record stands at 49. He broke George Foreman's record at 45. Hopkins was 46. Then he broke his own record at 48. Then he broke his own record again at 49. So the oldest man to win a heavyweight title right now is 49, Bernard Hopkins. And he fought till he was 52. Okay? Mm-hmm. The shortest heavyweight title holder, Tommy Burns. Okay, the Australian guy. I think that's the one that Jack Johnson beat, right? Now, 6-foot heavyweight boxer is considered short back in them days, since many heavyweights now, a 6-foot heavyweight boxer, it was considered tall in his day, but nowadays, a 6-foot heavyweight boxer is considered short, since many heavyweights like Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, AJ, 6'7", 6'8" is nothing nowadays. Now, Burns stood at only 5'7", but he managed to win a heavyweight title at 5'7". To make the story even better, Burns is the only Canadian-born heavyweight champion in boxing history. It's proof that size limitations don't have to be a disadvantage inside the ring if you adopt an appropriate fighting style. Now, Burns wasn't a one-shot wonder either. He successfully defended the belt 13 times, okay, at 5'7". Just got a couple more. This is a real old one here. Most fights and wins in boxing history, Len Wickwar. There's Len. Told you. See, the music came back up on his own? I told you. I turn it down, it comes up on its own. But Len Wickwar has the most fights and wins in boxing history. And you don't have to be a boxing historian to figure this probably took place in the early days of boxing, when fighting multiple times each month was the norm. Sometimes twice in one day, right? Wickwar competed in the early 20th century and retired with a record of 342 wins, 86 losses, 43 draws, right? 94 by way of knockout, right? Wow, how many is that? Got to know. 342 wins, 86 losses. That's a lot of draws, 43 draws. That's 471 fights. Wow. Yeah, and 94 knockouts. Now, his total number of fights and win record will likely never be broken, since boxing has moved in an entirely different direction nowadays. Yeah, that will definitely never be broken. Let's say 471 fights. Okay, couple more. The longest break between world titles, Big George Foreman. Yeah, the longest break between world titles was Big George. George Foreman won his first heavyweight title in 1973, and then he retired in 1977. He took a long break from boxing. Then he came back to knock out Michael Moorer to win the WBA and IBF titles at the age of 45, 21 years after he won his first title. Yep, 21 years later. Big George. And finally, the only heavyweight champion to retire undefeated, The Rock, Rocky Marciano. There he is. Only heavyweight champion to retire undefeated. Now, retiring undefeated as a world champion is a great feat for any boxer, but it's even more impressive when you're a heavyweight. These boxers hit harder than anyone else, so it only takes one mistake to end up on your backside. Who knows? Maybe, let me skip that part. Yeah, because this was kind of old. Tyson Fury was undefeated at that time. It was like maybe Tyson Fury would retire undefeated, but no. Maybe Usyk will, who knows? But yeah, Rocky Marciano, quite a feat. Only heavyweight champion to retire undefeated. 49-0. Okay. All right, so let's get ready to get into today's show, the life and career of Wladimir Klitschko. We got boxing tonight. Keyshawn Davis going after his first major world championship against Dennis Berinchek, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. But anyways, tonight, top ranked card. Friday night boxing. And then we got Jack Catterall and Arnold Barboza tomorrow, right? So yeah, we got 2 good days of boxing. And then we're only a week away from the big one. The big one. Beterbiev, Bivol 2.
Doing it again. Another meet and greet, this time in Brooklyn, New York, during the Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach fight week. Friday, February 28th from 8 p.m. until midnight. If you're planning on being in town for the fight, pull up on us at the meet and greet. Tickets can be purchased via Cash App at JBT Network 1. That's JBT Network 1. There is an early bird special for $20 from now until February the 1st. Then it's $30. That covers entry and food. There will also be a cash bar, so make sure you get your tickets early. Only a limited number of tickets will be sold, so make sure that you are in that number. Several door prizes will be given away. For more information, call 410-322-4365. That's 410-322-4365. And have a great JBT day. Brought to you by the JBT, Curtis Sewell, Treasurer.
Okay, Donnie Williams, salute Donnie. Donnie Williams in the building. Okay, the life and career of Wladimir Klitschko, the younger of the Klitschko brothers. It's supposed to be Vitaly, but I was working on it last night, and before I realized that I was working on Wladimir, so I just kept going. But Vitaly will be next. Next week is the life and career of Don King. And then the week after that is the Bob Father. Look at this music comes up on its own, man. Okay. All right, let's go with the life and career of Wladimir Klitschko. Now, Wladimir Klitschko is a Ukrainian former professional boxer. He competed from 1996 to 2017, 21-year professional career. Now, he held multiple heavyweight world championships between 2000 and 2015, including unified titles between 2008 and 2015. Now, during this time, he also held the International Boxing Organization and Ring Magazine titles. Now, Wladimir fought in the heavyweight division his entire career, okay? Fought out of the orthodox stance. He was fought out of the orthodox stance. 6'6" tall, had a reach of 81 inches, had a total of 69 fights. He won 64, lost 5, had 53 fights by knockout, okay? 53 by knockout out of 64. That's 82.8% knockout rate. Not bad, okay, for Wladimir. Okay. Now, a strategic and intelligent boxer, Klitschko is considered to be one of the greatest heavyweight champions of all time. He was known for his exceptional knockout power, using a strong jab, straight right hand, and left hook, quick hand speed, formidable physical strength, which he employed when clinching opponents, and his athletic footwork and mobility was unusual for boxers of his size. As an amateur, Klitschko represented Ukraine at the 1996 Olympics, winning a gold medal in the super heavyweight division and ending his amateur career with 134 wins against just 6 losses. After turning professional later that year, 1996, turned professional, he defeated Chris Bird in 2000 to win the World Boxing Organization heavyweight title. Klitschko's first reign as champion ended in an upset knockout loss to Corey Sanders in 2003, which was followed by another upset knockout loss to Lamont Brewster in 2004. It was during this time that Klitschko hired Emanuel Stewart as his trainer, which began an 8-year partnership that lasted until Stewart's death in 2012. Now, in particular, Stewart was credited with Klitschko's transition from an aggressive puncher to a more defensive-oriented boxer, right? Much as he had done with Emanuel Stewart had done the same thing with Lennox Lewis, remember, earlier. Now, from 2004 to 2015, Wladimir Klitschko and his brother Vitaly Klitschko. Vitaly was also a multiple world champion. From 2004 to 2015, the brothers dominated heavyweight boxing. There I go again. Excuse me for a moment. I done came off of the damn page again, man. I gotta put my other hand in my pocket. Yeah, okay, him and his brother. Yeah, his brother Vitaly was also a multiple-time world champion. And for that for that stretch, 2004 to 2015, that 9-year stretch, they dominated heavyweight boxing, a period typically known as the Klitschko era of the heavyweight division. Yeah, that's what it remembers from that period, the Klitschko era of the heavyweight division. Now, in 2006, Wladimir regained a portion of the World Heavyweight Championship after defeating Chris Bird in a rematch to win the International Boxing Federation and IBO titles. He won his second WBO title by defeating Sultan Ibragimov in 2008. We're going to go more in depth into these fights shortly, just touching on them briefly now. Now, following his win over Ruslan Chagayev in 2009, Klitschko was awarded the Ring Magazine title. And lastly, he won the World Boxing Association title, the unified version, later the super version, from David Haye in 2011. After defeating Alexander Povetkin in October 2013, and until his loss to Tyson Fury in November 2015, Klitschko was recognized as the lineal champion by the TBRB, Transnational Boxing Rankings Board. Okay? Now, for a period of time in late 2015, Klitschko was ranked as the world's best active boxer, pound for pound, by BoxRec. He was also ranked among the 10 best boxers in the world, pound for pound, by the Ring Magazine from August 2010 until November 2015, a 5-year period, reaching his career peak of number 2 in November 2014. Okay? Now, during Klitschko's reign as world heavyweight champion, his fights would reportedly generate up to 500 million viewers worldwide. Klitschko holds records for the longest heavyweight reign of all time. longest cumulated heavyweight reign of all time, with 4,382 days as world heavyweight champion. And he has a longer reign than Joe Louis, but Vladimir's was broken up. If you count time as champion altogether, Vladimir is the longest reigning champion, but it was broken up into two separate reigns, whereas Joe Louis's 12 years was straight, consecutive 12 years. That's why they call Joe Louis the longest reigning heavyweight, because his was consecutive. But actually, Vladimir is the longest reigning heavyweight, but his was broken up into two separate reigns, okay? All right. Now, let's look at his, and he was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 2021, and that was his first year of eligibility. Yep, got it on his first ballot. Okay. Now let's look at his early life. Wladimir Klitschko's early life. Now, Wladimir Klitschko was born in Semipalatinsk in the Soviet Union. It's now Kazakhstan, right? But it was part of the Soviet Union when he was born. He's the son of Nadia. Oh, I'm not even going to do that to myself. His parents' names. Wow. His father was a Soviet Air Force major general, right? And a military attaché of USSR in East Germany. And of course, Vladimir is a younger brother, a former WBC, WBO, and Ring Magazine heavyweight champion, Vitaly Klitschko. And Vitaly is the current mayor of Kiev, right? And his maternal grandmother was Jewish. Now, the Klitschko brothers lived as children in Czechoslovakia from 1980 to 1985, where their father was stationed with the Soviet occupation forces. They attended a school designated for children of Soviet soldiers in the town of Mimon in northern Bohemia. Yeah, raised up in Czechoslovakia, where his father was stationed because the Soviet Union was occupying that country at that time. Now, the Klitschko brothers lived in Ukrainian SSR from 1985 to 1986, when the town was evacuated following the Chernobyl nuclear disaster. The elder Klitschko was also one of the commanders in charge of cleaning up the effects of the Chernobyl nuclear disaster in 1986 and was afterward diagnosed with cancer. He also served as a military attaché at the Embassy of Ukraine in Germany. Both Vladimir and Vitaly hold PhDs in sports science, with Vladimir's dissertation discussing how much training to give to young athletes between 14 and 19 based on the development of their bodies. Okay, now let's look at his amateur career. Had a very successful amateur career. Won a gold medal at the Olympics. I believe it was 1996. Yep. Now, Vladimir started training in amateur boxing with Brovary Olympics Reserve School in the late 1980s. In the early 1990s, he was coached in Poland's Guardia Warsaw Boxing Club, where, according to Jury Coolidge, he and his brother used to demolish our boys. In 1993, he won the Junior European Championships as a heavyweight. In 1994, he received second place at the Junior World Championships in Istanbul, Turkey, losing to Cuban Michael Lopez Nunez in the final match. In 1995, he won the gold medal at the Military Championships in Arisia, Italy, defeating Luan Krasniqi, to whom he had lost in the third round of the World Championships in Berlin, Germany, earlier that year. In 1996, Wladimir captured second place as a super heavyweight at the European Championships in Denmark, losing to Alexei Lesin on points, 6-1 in the final match. He defeated Lesin later that year on points 4-1 in the semifinals at the 1996 Summer Olympics in Atlanta, where he won the gold medal. Remember? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Wladimir won gold in Atlanta. I told you I'm learning too. I did not know that. I missed that yesterday. I did not know he won gold. But he in Atlanta, yeah. Well, I knew he won gold, but I did not know it was in Atlanta, 1996. Now, like I said, he had an amateur record of 134 wins, 6 losses, 65 knockouts, okay? Of his 6 amateur losses, 2 were by walkover, equivalent to a no contest in a professional fight. 3 were by points, and to Michael Lopez, Alexei Levin, and Luan Krasnicki, all of whom he defeated in rematches. And the final loss was by RSCI, whatever that is. Referee something. And the latter result happened at the 14th Copenhagen Cup in Copenhagen, Denmark in 1993, when his fight with Don Diego Poder was stopped in the first round due to a cut. Okay. Yes. Like that's like a like a referee stoppage due to cuts or something. Man, they just say that instead of RSCO. I knew it was referee stoppage due to something. Yeah, that's what that is. It was stopped due to cuts. And Wladimir first achieved world attention at the 1996 Summer Olympics in Atlanta, Georgia. He defeated Pierre Wolfgram to win the super heavyweight gold medal. You know that man's name is nothing like that. Wow. Okay, let's go to his professional career now. Professional career of Wladimir Klitschko. Okay. Anybody come in? No. Everybody hitting the like button? Yes, I believe so. Okay, let me take a drink. Everybody ready for the businessman tonight? Will he take care of business? See, Crush ain't here. Crush at that parade up there in Philly today. Yeah, the Eagles having their parade today up there in Philly. That's where Crush the Legend at. Out there howling and screaming with the rest of those Eagles fans at that parade. Yeah, I knew it. Oh, there's Crush. Look at that, man. I just mentioned Crush's name and he came in the building. I got ESPN. Crush, I was just saying you ain't here because you at that parade, and damn, you ain't pop up as soon as I said that. Wow. That is, that's crazy, man. I just mentioned Crush the Legend and he popped up 2 seconds later. You probably heard me, Crush. There's Crush the Legend. 6 o'clock a.m. Monday through Friday. Yeah, I thought he was out there at that parade with the rest of them Eagles fans, man. Salute, Crush. How was the parade? It's probably over with now, right? Yeah, I know y'all had a good time up there, man. And they crushed the Chiefs. And it's good because somebody else needs to win it. Kansas City got enough of them, man. Yeah. They got beat bad. But salute, Crush. Yeah, another great show this morning. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the professional career of Wladimir Klitschko. Okay. Early career. Now, Wladimir turned professional with Universum Boxing Promotions in Hamburg, Germany, under the tutelage of Fritz Schudneck, often being featured on fight cards alongside his elder brother, Vitaly. So early in their career, they was putting the brothers on the same cards, right? Now, after building an undefeated record of 24-0 with 21 knockouts, he suffered his first loss to Ross Purity. And Ross had 24 wins, 13 losses, 1 draw, right? Now, The loss to Ross was Klitschko's first and only professional fight in the Ukraine in his home country. Wow. Isn't that something? He only fought once in Ukraine and he lost it. I guess that's why he never fought there no more. Just Do Boxing in the building. What's up, Just Do? 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. Bringing you that balanced, unbiased boxing talk. Everybody gets to Just Do at Just Do Boxing. Salute Just Do. Okay. Let's move on. Yeah, he only fought once in his home country of Ukraine, and it was a loss. His first professional loss was there. He never fought there again. Wow. Amazing. So I'm learning too. Now, Purity forced Klitschko, who had at that time not gone beyond 8 rounds, to punch himself out. And Klitschko began to be overwhelmed in the 10th round and went down twice. But he was allowed to continue. Now, at the start of the 11th round, with Purity continuing to land hard punches, Klitschko's trainer, Fritz Sudnick, entered the ring and stopped the fight. Now, 3 years later, his brother Vitaly stopped Purity in the 11th round himself. Now, I don't think Wladimir ever fought Purity again, but his big brother had his back and he stopped Purity 3 years later. Now, on March 18th, the year 2000, Wladimir fought Pierre Wolfgram when he fought previously, whom he had fought in the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta. That was the guy he fought in the gold medal match, right? He beat him for the gold medal. Then the rematch and in the professional level, Klitschko knocked Wolfgram out in the very first round. Got him out of there in 1 round. Wladimir did. Wow. Okay. So now, I want to get ready to go up against Chris Bird. There's him and Chris Bird right there. Wladimir and Chris Bird. Okay. Wladimir Klitschko got his chance to fight for the World Heavyweight Championship on October 14th, 2000. And that's an historic day, October 14th. Birthday of attentive Aunt McQueen and Cash Sports the Boxtorian. Wow. Like 30 years in between them, but the same day. Yeah. And that was the day where Wladimir fought for his first world championship, October 14th, 2000, against WBO champion Chris Bird. Now, Bird was considered one of the most avoided fighters in the heavyweight division at that time. He had won the title 6 months earlier in April. Guess who he won it from? Vitaly. Won it from Vladimir's brother, Vitaly, right? And Chris came into the match 27-0 with 27 knockouts, okay? Now, in the fight against his brother, Bird had been trailing on the scorecards by 5 points on 2 cards and 89-82, 7 points on the 3rd card, right? But it was declared the winner after Vitaly retired on his stool between the 9th and 10th rounds due to a shoulder injury. Wow, Vitaly was winning widely, and his shoulder couldn't continue because of injury, and Bird took the title. So now, remember, Vitaly had Vladimir's back when Wladimir lost his first loss. Vitaly avenged that, so now Wladimir gets the chance to try to avenge this loss that Vitaly had. Now, Bird's title defense against Wladimir was scheduled to take place at Polno Arena in I don't know what the hell that is. Let me put it in this. These words, man. Here we go. This is where this fight was at. I don't know, man. I don't even know where this place is at. Here it is. COL. Is it Kalani? Now, where is that? That's where this fight took place at against Chris Bird. Okay? No, it's not in the United States. And it was billed as Revenge of the Brother. That's what this fight was called, Revenge of the Brother, because Bird had took the title from his big brother Wladimir, right? In a fight, Wladimir was winning widely, but he had to stop because of injury. He had a shoulder injury. Now, in a fight that was aired on pay-per-view in the United Kingdom, Wladimir won the WBO World Heavyweight title from Bird by a wide unanimous decision, with scores of, who shut him out on one card, 120 to 106, and a 2-point round in there somewhere, 119, 107, and 118, 108. And he put Bird down 2 times. So he avenged his brother's loss, okay? Just like his brother had avenged his earlier in his career. Now, his first defense of the WBO title that was his first professional title, WBO. His first defense of the WBO title came in March 2001 against Derek Jefferson. Okay, there's him and Derek right there. There's him and Derek Jefferson. First defense, okay? Came in March 2001 against Derek Jefferson. Now, Jefferson was regarded as a big and athletic brawler and a fan-friendly fighter. He was coming into the fight with a record of 23 wins and 3 losses, with 19 of those wins coming inside the distance, right? 18 in the first 3 rounds. So Derek came in there as a big puncher, a fan-friendly fighter. 18 in the first 3 rounds, 11 in the first round, okay? Now, Jefferson was mostly known for his 6-round knockout win over Maurice Hurst, which was named the Ring Knockout of the Year in 1999, right? But he was only 4-2 in his last 6 fights, losing by technical knockout to David Izon in a fight he was winning on the scorecards. But he punched himself out, and he lost to Oleg Maskayev in round 4 after breaking an ankle during the first knockdown in the first round. Damn, broke his ankle during the fight. Shit. Wow. Yeah, I guess you can't continue. You break your ankle. That was 2 of those. That was one of those 2 losses he had in the last 6 fights. He couldn't continue because of a broken ankle. Now, for this fight, Jefferson weighed in at 260 pounds, the heaviest in his professional career. And he came in 20 pounds heavier than he did in his last fight. And the additional weight appeared to be muscle. Now, the fight lasted only 2 rounds. In the first round, Klitschko knocked Jefferson down with a short left hook. After the first round, Jefferson's left eye was swollen. Klitschko knocked him down twice more in the second round, once with a straight right hand, and then again with another left hook, with the fight being stopped after the left hook knockdown, declaring Klitschko the winner by TKO in the second round. Now, Klitschko earned $1 million for the fight, okay? Now, his next title defense was scheduled for less than 5 months later in August 2001. And the fight took place at the Mandalay Bay Event Center. Now, I can pronounce that. Mandalay Bay Event Center in Paradise, Nevada, against hometown fighter Charles Shufford. Okay, there's him and Charles right there. This is his second title defense of his first heavyweight title. It's him and Charles. Looked like he got something good in on Charles. Yeah, Charles was from Las Vegas, right? Okay, now at this time, Shufford had a 17-1 record, coming off of wins against Jimmy Thunder and Lamont Brewster. Now, Shufford weighed in at 234 pounds, 17 pounds lighter than in his last fight. Now, Shufford, having played George Foreman in the Will Smith movie, right, entered the ring with Smith by his side. You know, Smith walked him to the ring. And James Toney played Joe Frazier in that movie, remember? Lights Out. So Shufford played George Foreman. I did not know that. I'm learning too. And Will Smith walked him to the ring for the fight, right? But it didn't make Wladimir no different. Wladimir knocked Shufford down 3 times. Once in the second round and once in the third round, right? Both times with a straight right hand. And then he knocked him down and again in the sixth round with a left hook, right? And the referee stopped the fight after the left hook knockdown in the sixth round, okay? Now, according to punch stats, Klitschko landed 58 of 262 punches for 22%, and Shuffer connected on, get this, 16 of 190 punches for 8%, single digits. Damn, 8%. Okay, so then we move on. After the Shuffer fight, he returned to Germany for his next defense of his WBO title against Francois Botha. Right? There's him and Francois. Francois Botha was his next defense. Okay? Returned to Germany for that. This fight took place at Hans Martin Schuyler Hall in Stuttgart, the same venue where Botha had fought Axel Schultz for the IBF title 6 years earlier in the most watched boxing match in German TV history, okay? Now, according to Botha's coach, Abel Sanchez, Botha was in the best shape of his career coming into this fight. The South African contender was game in the opening rounds, trying to catch Klitschko with the right hook, but Klitschko was successfully keeping him at the end of his jab. Now, in the eighth round, Klitschko caught Botha with a counter right hand, and then he hit him with several shots, knocking him down with a left hook. Yeah, Klitschko was that left hook was potent. Botha did get up, but he was unsteady on his feet, and both eyes were swollen, and the referee stepped in and stopped. You notice all his fights getting stopped after that left hook? Okay, so his next title defense was 3 months later, in June 2002, and this was in Atlantic City, New Jersey, against former WBO heavyweight champion Ray Mercer. There's him and Ray. Yeah, Ray Mercer. Yeah, Ray Mercer used to have the WBO, but Ray was old around that time. Let's see. It was the first time in his professional career that Klitschko fought an Olympic gold medalist. Mercer was 41 years old at that time, right? Mercer had fought Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield throughout his career. He was expected to be a tough challenge for Klitschko that would give him and Lennox. He was expected to be a tough challenge for Klitschko, right? And during the build-up to the fight, Mercer referred to Klitschko as Russian Tommy Morrison. Now, since his comeback in 2001, Mercer had won 4 fights over journeymen, 3 of them inside of 2 rounds, prior to the Klitschko fight, okay? Now, Klitschko dominated Mercer throughout the entire fight, stopping him in the 6th round. At 2:48 of the first round, Klitschko dropped Mercer with a left hook, becoming only the second man to drop Ray Mercer. Now, throughout the fight, Klitschko was frequently landing combinations of stiff left jabs, left hooks, and straight right hands. And by the 5th round, Mercer's face was swollen and his right eye was cut. And in the 6th round, Klitschko unleashed a barrage of punches, prompting the referee to stop the fight. Klitschko became the first fighter to defeat Ray Mercer inside the distance. First man to stop Ray Mercer. Now, according to CompuBox statistics, Klitschko landed 193 total punches out of 429 punches. 104 power punches out of 167, not bad. While Mercer landed 54 out of 124. Only 5 power punches out of 10 thrown. Wow. Through 6 rounds, Ray only threw 10 power punches. So after that fight, Wladimir returned to Mandalay Bay again for his 6th title defense in December 2002 against Jamil McCline. Okay? It's Jamil McCline. There's him and Jamil. Okay? back to Las Vegas, December 2002. Now, prior to fighting Klitschko, Klein had defeated two more heavyweight contenders, Lance Whitaker and Shannon Briggs, by a wide unanimous decision. Okay? And being 6'6" tall with an 82-inch reach, but Klein was a similar height and he had an inch longer reach than Klitschko, while also being 22 pounds heavier. Many opinion polls gave Klitschko a 60-40 advantage over McClain. Now, the fight was the main event of the card that also featured Floyd Mayweather Jr. defending the WBC lightweight title against Jose Luis Castillo. Yeah, Pretty Boy was on that card. Jose Luis Castillo won. Yeah, Floyd wasn't even the main attraction on that card. It was Klitschko and Jamel McClain. Wow. Now, the fight turned out to be tentative, with Klitschko winning almost every round using his jab and superior footwork. At the end of the 10th round, Klitschko staggered McClain with a barrage of left hooks and overhand right, and ultimately knocked him down with a left-right combination. And before the start of the 11th round, McClain's corner threw in the towel, giving Klitschko his 36th career win by stoppage. At the time of the stoppage, the scorecards were 98-91 and 98-90 times 2, all in favor of Klitschko. Yeah, he was beating him widely. Now, the week after his win over McClain, Chris Bird, whom Klitschko had defeated he had beat Chris Bird for the title, and Chris Bird beat Evander Holyfield the next week to become the IBF world champion. Okay, and they would fight again, but not right away. His next fight was against Sanders. After failing to reach agreements with Kurt Johnson, Fres Oquendo, Lou Savarese, and Danny Williams, Universal ultimately signed a 4-fight contract with Corey Sanders. That's who he fought next, Corey Sanders. Okay, there they go. Yeah, they signed a 4-fight contract with Sanders. He was the number 9 contender for the WBO at the time. Now, according to the agreement, Sanders' first fight was going to be for the WBO World Heavyweight title against Klitschko, right? Now, the fight was scheduled to take place in March 2003 in Hanover, Germany. And Klitschko later admitted that he came to the fight unmotivated and was already thinking about the vacation he was going to enjoy after the fight. And you know what ended up happening, right? Klitschko suffered an upset loss, TKO loss to Sanders. With 30 seconds left in the opening round, Wladimir threw a jab, but Sanders countered with a big left hook, prompting Klitschko to enter a clinch. While in the clinch, Sanders landed another left hook that sent Klitschko to the canvas. Klitschko got up, but was dropped again almost immediately. The following round, second round, Sanders continued his assault on a visibly hurt Klitschko. Klitschko did not recover in between rounds, and Sanders dropped him 2 more times in the second round. And then the referee waved the fight off. The fight was named Upset of the Year by the Ring magazine. Upset of the Year, yeah. He said he was unmotivated, thinking about his vacation and stuff. This is boxing, man. You got to be focused. You can't go in there thinking about your vacation. Okay? Now, after winning 2 minor fights in Germany and enlisting the services of legendary boxing trainer Emanuel Stewart, that's when he got Emanuel. After that loss, yeah. Klitschko, again, that was the best thing he did for his career when he brought in Emanuel Stewart. But after that loss, he had 2 minor fights in Germany. He hired Emanuel Stewart, right? And he fought for the vacant WBO title in April 2004. I don't know what happened to Sanders, but the title was vacant, okay? Against Lamont Brewster. Against Lamont Brewster. He fought Lamont a couple of times. This was the first fight. And this fight was in April 2004. Okay. He dominated Brewster through the course of the first 4 rounds. He knocked him down in the 4th round. But things turned around in the 5th for Brewster when Klitschko began tiring, right? And then Brewster's punches began backing Klitschko up. Now, not defending himself and leaning into the ropes for support, Klitschko took a standing 8 count. On unsteady legs, Klitschko fell to the canvas after the bell, and the referee stopped the fight for his safety, right? Now, when talking about the fight, Emanuel Stewart said, Wladimir was in incredible shape. I've never seen anything like this in my career. I know what it looks like when a boxer's getting hurt from punches. There was definitely something else that caused problems for Wladimir. No, it was those lefts and rights Lamont Brewster was landing on. That's what it was, Emmanuel. Now, shortly after this fight, Klitschko was rushed into the hospital. Oh, I'm sorry. It was something else wrong. My bad. Shortly after the fight, Klitschko was rushed into the hospital. An examination showed Klitschko's blood sugar level almost 2 times higher than the permissible norm, and he in there fighting in a boxing match. According to members of Klitschko's team, the doctor told them that Klitschko had been inches away from falling into a diabetic coma, and that with blood sugar levels that high, Klitschko would have been incapable of handling a single proper training session, let alone in a fight. Wow. So he wouldn't have been able to handle a training session. He was in there in a boxing match. Now, after returning from the examination to the hotel, he fell ill with nausea, followed by physical weakness. On April the 12th, he arrived in Las Vegas and donated blood and urine samples for an independent examination, which was supposed to be done by Donald Catlin, who specialized in such cases. Now, the examination showed no signs of anabolic steroids in his blood, but Catlin suggested that Klitschko could have been poisoned with haloperidol. Now, the drug has no taste or smell and causes mental disorders, which are accompanied by impaired coordination, a weakening reaction, and overall physical weakness. Now, who would poison him? Wow. They said he could have possibly been poisoned. Now, following these results, Klitschko demanded the tests taken by the Medical Center of South Nevada and Nevada Quest Diagnostics to be passed on to Dr. Robert Weil for further research. But the A sample had already been disposed of, while the B sample, which was supposed to be stored for years, disappeared. Wow, the B sample disappeared. Now, Dr. Margaret Goodman, the chairwoman of the Nevada State Athletic Commission's Medical Advisory Board and Nevada's Chingwich side physician, was in the ring and attended to Klitschko seconds after the referee stopped the fight. Her initial diagnosis of a grade 3 concussion was confirmed at the hospital after further tests. See, I was right that those punches from the other fighter gave him a concussion. Goodman was skeptical of the theory that Klitschko had been drugged. Yeah, it was those punches, like I said. What caused the grade 3 concussion? 1s and 2s, right? As a result of the circumstances that surrounded the fight, the FBI started an investigation. Judge Bernstein, the lawyer representing Klitschko, suggested that he was a victim of an ongoing fight fixing in Las Vegas, which also included fraudulent medical reports, which was investigated by the FBI at the time. Now, Bernstein, along with some other journalists, pointed out that in the last 48 hours before the beginning of the fight, the betting odds in favor of Klitschko rapidly dropped from 11-1 to 3.5-1. According to journalist Keith Teixeira, a group of approximately 40 people associated with Brewster's manager, Sam Simon, bet from $50,000 to $100,000 on Brewster's victory. Boxing is a dirty game. They would actually poison a person Damn. And members of Klitschko's team also pointed out that shortly before the fight, a security camera recorded a moment when two people entered Klitschko's booth and were there for 4 minutes. These people had badges, but were not members of Vladimir's team. Vladimir's brother Vitaly claimed that during registration of the boxer and his team, the card that belonged to Emanuel Stewart's assistant had already been registered on someone else, and that such card would show its owner to enter any sporting hall no such card would allow its owner to enter any sporting hall in the building. Well, how did they get that card? Did Emanuel Stewart's assistant sell it to him? That's very interesting. How did they get that card? If somebody else got a hold of his card, how did they get it? That's very interesting. Now, after the fight, Vladimir's cut man, Joe Souza, was fired. During the fight, Souza used Vaseline on Vladimir's face, but also body, which had never been done in any of Klitschko's previous fights. As a replacement, the team hired Jacob Stitch Duran. Yeah, that was a good switch there. Anybody for Stitch Duran is an upgrade. I mean, Stitch Duran replacing anybody is an upgrade. Yeah, wow. Okay. They just used that as an excuse to fire him. They just wanted to hire Stitch anyway. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. That was very strange. How they said somebody was in his in the place, and they said he was poisoned. Then all of a sudden, Houston's people start betting all that money on him and everything. Very suspicious situation. Okay. So now, following the loss to Brewster, Klitschko began his journey back towards the top of the heavyweight division. Okay. First, he faced hard-hitting Deverl Williams. Okay. Faced Deverl. This fight took place at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. Now, Williamson dropped Klitschko 40 seconds into the second round, but he was outboxed throughout the rest of the fight. An accidental headbutt in the closing seconds of the fifth round caused Klitschko's bleeding from a cut above his right eye. Now, due to the cut, the fight was prematurely stopped. With Klitschko being declared the winner by technical decision. Two of the judges had the fight identically, 49-46 in favor of Klitschko, while the third judge had Williamson winning 48-47. It was past the fourth round, so they went to the cards. Klitschko was winning on two of the three judges' cards. They hadn't made four, this would have been a no contest, right? A no decision. But that's, once they get past four, they can go to the cards if they have to stop it. And Vladimir wasn't here, so he got the win, right? After defeating Eliseo Castillo, let me check something out for a minute. Yeah, out of place here. Bob Williamson was last, right? Yeah, Eliseo is on there. Eliseo. Okay. After defeating Eliseo Castillo, I ain't been paying attention to the chat at all. Miss anybody coming in? No. After defeating Eliseo Castillo by fourth round TKO, Klitschko signed to fight Samuel Peter in an IBF and WBO eliminator. Now, coming into the fight, this would be him and Samuel Peter right there. Yeah, that's Big Sam. He fought him a couple times too. Now, coming into the fight against Peter, Klitschko was viewed by many as the underdog, right? And Peter was a 7-5 favorite. And Peter was 24-0 coming into this fight, with 21 of them by knockout. At the time, Peter was considered one of the brightest prospects in the heavyweight division. Yeah, back in them days, the prospect had 24 fights, right? Nowadays, A contender got like 10, 11 fights. Go figure. Keyshawn fighting for a world title tonight with what, 12 fights? Didn't happen back in those days. Had to get it to at least 20. Would even thought of you as a contender, right? But that's just boxing. It's so watered down now, you know. It's just crazy. But let's move on. Yeah, Peter was considered one of the brightest prospects in the heavyweight division. Distinguished boxing coaches Angelo Dundee and Teddy Atlas expected Peter to beat Klitschko, right? Vladimir's team, including his brother Vitaly, was worried about Wladimir and were against this fight to happen. That was after, it wasn't too far. That was only like 2 fights after that situation where they thought he was poisoned. And remember, he collapsed during the fight and had to rush to the hospital. That was just like the second fight incident. So his team was kind of worried about him, including his brother Vitaly, right? So they didn't want him to take this fight. Wladimir, however, insisted on fighting Peter, claiming that beating a feared, hard-hitting fighter like Samuel Peter would help him to regain his stock and become mandatory challenger for 2 heavyweight belts. Now, the first 4 rounds were tentative, with Klitschko working behind the jab, not allowing Peter to close the distance. At the end of the 3rd round, Peter staggered Klitschko with a powerful left hook. He hurt Klitschko again in the 5th round with another left hook, sending Klitschko to the canvas. Okay? And the referee counted it as a knockdown. The Klitschko's corner thought it was a rabbit punch, but the referee called it a knockdown. He allowed it. And Peter immediately went on the attack after Klitschko got up. And he dropped him again. Right? Klitschko regained his composure and outboxed Peter through 6th to the 9th round, with Peter frequently trying to hit Klitschko with a rabbit punch whenever escaping from a clinch. Near the end of the 10th round, Peter staggered Wladimir again with a hard right hand, eventually sending Klitschko to the canvas again with another right, when Wladimir was backing away in the 11th and 12th rounds. He was trying to keep Peter at a distance using straight punches. Peter caught him with a left hook in the last round again, but he was unable to capitalize on it. Instead, Klitschko caught Peter with a hard counter left hook of his own, and he staggered Peter for the first time in the fight. Eventually, the fight went the distance, with Klitschko winning the fight by a clear, unanimous decision. All the judges scored the fight identically, 114-111. Pretty close fight. 114-111 for Klitschko. Okay? So now, this is a long one today. April 2006, Chris Bird 2. Plays Chris Bird 2, second time. This time was for the IBF heavyweight title. At the time of this fight, Chris Bird was ranked as the best heavyweight in the world by the Ring magazine, while Klitschko was ranked number 8. Now, coming into the fight, Klitschko was viewed as the favorite, right? Many observers expected him to dominate Bird, right? Similar to the first fight. Because remember, Bird was the man he won his first professional title against, and he dominated him. This time he defeated Bird by TKO in the 7th round. So this made him a 2-time heavyweight world champion. And he dominated by using his jab and superior reach. Knocked Bird down twice, once in the 5th round and once in the 7th. Now, Bird beat the count after the second knockdown, but his face was battered and bloody, and the referee waved it off, right? It was the time of the stoppage. Ray Francis had Bird winning every round, right? While the other 2 judges had Klitschko winning all but one round. Now, you know, what are these judges looking at? One had Bird winning every round at the 7th round. The other 2 had Klitschko winning every round but one. And, you know, judges' cards are not going to be exactly the same, but that different? Damn, that's crazy. BBO Boxing TV, hashtag STN in the building. The Sports Talk Network. What's up, BBO? Talking about Vladimir Klitschko today. Salute. I was asking you and BG what they stood for this morning, BBO. Y'all was acting like it was a top secret. I was like, damn. D1 finally told me. I just want to know what it was, that's all. The Sports Talk Network, man. Yeah. I like to see people starting up stuff. Who knows? Sports Talk Network. That was interesting. Okay. Never know. As sports might be in the Sports Talk Network one day. Okay, but let me continue. Where was I? But salute BBO. Where was I? Yeah, he fought Chris. He just beat Chris Bird. This was the second fight between him and Chris Bird. And I done came off my page. Yeah, the referee stopped the fight. Yeah, the judges had it so different though, because like I said, one judge had Bird winning every round through 7, and the other two had Klitschko winning every round except 1. Wow. Bear with me for 1 second. Okay, so now he's 2-time champion. In his first defense, and he won this one against Chris Bird again, remember? He won his original title against Chris Bird. So his first title defense this time was Calvin Brock. Heavyweight contender Calvin Brock. Calvin came in 29-0 with 22 knockouts. He was considered one of the most promising and demanding American heavyweight prospects at the time. In an ESPN interview in July 2005, Mike Tyson named Brock and Samuel Peter as his favorite fighters from the new crop of heavyweights, right? Then the build up to the fight, Brock expressed confidence in his abilities. He said, I can adapt to any style. Klitschko is like a big Jamil McCline, but a better fighter. I will beat him and become the heavyweight champion of the world. Klitschko has a good jab, but they also said Tamir's best weapon was his jab. I have a good jab myself. I can adapt to anybody's style, anybody's strength, and turn their weapon against them. He also dismissed claims that the division lacks strong competition. Okay. Now the fight took place in November 2006 at Madison Square Garden. In the opening rounds, Brock's economical but effective movement made Klitschko reluctant to throw punches. Right? And Wladimir was not able to fully establish his rhythm. Then between the 3rd and 4th rounds, Klitschko's trainer, Emanuel Stewart, urged Wladimir to press the action. Now Klitschko started fighting more aggressively, hurting Brock several times with the right cross. In the 5th round, Brock opened a cut under Klitschko's left eye that started bleeding heavily in the next round, the 6th. In the 7th round, Wladimir caught Brock with a counter right hand before sending him to the canvas with another straight right hand. Brock was able to get up, but he was unsteady on his feet. You know, he was on crab legs, spaghetti legs, right? And the referee stepped in and stopped the fight, right? Klitschko then faced his mandatory challenger, Ray Austin. Yeah, that's him and Brock there. That's him and Ray Austin there. Ray Austin was his mandatory challenger, okay? March 2007, SAP Arena in Mannheim, Germany. Austin was 36 years old. He was mostly famous for his draws against Sawtown Abrajimov, right? Larry Donald and Lance Whitaker. Now, in preparation for the fight, Austin was trained by a prominent coach, Stacy McKinley. Klitschko won the fight by a 2nd-round knockout with 4 consecutive left hooks to Austin's head. Klitschko did not throw a single right hand in the entire fight. Okay? In 4 rounds, he never threw a right hand. Wow. Isn't that something? Okay. So now, going up against Lamont Brewster, too. Told you fought Lamont Brewster a couple times. Klitschko then avenged one of his previous losses. Remember, Lamont beat him. Lamont took that WBO from him, remember? In an upset. Well, he avenged that loss. He defeated Lamont Brewster in July 2007 in Germany. Fought a lot in Germany. Brewster's corner asked the referee to stop the fight at the end of the 6th round. It was later revealed that Klitschko fought most of the fight with a broken middle finger on his left hand, his left hook hand. You know, he had a great left hook. Wow. Now, by the end of October 2007, Wladimir Klitschko started negotiations with then WBO World Heavyweight Champion Sultan Ibragimov about the unification showdown in the near future. Now, this would be the first heavyweight unification fight since November 1999, when WBC champion Lennox Lewis defeated WBA and IBF champion Evander Holyfield. Wow, first unification since 1999. And then on November 20th, Klitschko and Ibragimov officially signed the contract for their unification fight to take place. February 2008, it's 9 years since the last one, at Madison Square Garden. 2 days later in Moscow, a first pre-fight press conference was held. Klitschko began his preparation for the fight on December 18th. His training camp was located between Santa Monica, Los Angeles, and Palm Beach, Florida. Damn, that's a big range. His training camp was located between Santa Monica, Los Angeles, and Palm Beach, Florida. Ibragimov began his preparation for the fight on December 25th. Now, among Ibragimov's sparring partners were Klitschko's former opponent, Emil McCline, and Swedish heavyweight prospect Attila Levin. In the pre-fight predictions, a vast majority of Ukrainian, Russian, and American observers expected Klitschko to win by either stoppage or unanimous decision. Out of 6 journalists of the Ukrainian magazine Ring, 5 predicted Klitschko to stop Ibragimov, with only 1 expecting Klitschko to win by decision. 24 of 26 members of BoxingScene.com expected Klitschko to come out as the winner. 18 of them predicted the win to come by way of knockout or TKO. 1 expert predicted decision, while the remaining 5 were unsure about either possibility. The other 2 experts predicted Ibragimov to win by decision. 10 of the 12 members of RingsideSports.com picked Klitschko to win, with 8 of them expecting the victory to come by way of knockout. Okay? So, now, let's get to the fight. From the opening bell, both fighters fought tentatively, avoiding risks. Klitschko retreated onto the outside, fighting at a distance and remaining unreachable for Ibragimov, who tried to establish his right jab, but had his right hand consistently pushed down by Klitschko. And by the end of the opening round, Klitschko became more active with his jab, while Ibragimov unsuccessfully tried to catch Wladimir with a series of right and left hooks. Boy, I don't know if I changed it or not. Yeah. Now, by the 3rd round, Klitschko took control of the center of the ring, keeping Ibragimov at the end of his left jab and occasionally throwing right jabs as well. Klitschko had that long 81-inch reach, remember. Now, in the 5th round, Klitschko caught Ibragimov with a straight right hand. However, Ibragimov appeared to be unhurt. Now, most of Ibragimov's attempts to close distance ended with Klitschko tying him up. In the second half of the fight, the situation did not change, with Klitschko keeping Ibragimov at distance with straight shots, while Ibragimov was only able to occasionally catch Klitschko with single shots to the body. Now, Ibragimov's corner was almost solid from the sixth round onwards, unable to give the man any meaningful advice. So I would have fired the whole corner after the fight. You hear that? His corner was solid from the sixth round on, giving him nothing. Now, Klitschko's dominance became even more visible after he caught Ibragimov with a straight right in round 9, almost knocking him down. He caught Ibragimov again with a counter left hook at the end of the 11th round. And the 12th and final round, where Ibragimov unsuccessfully trying to catch Klitschko with overhand shot. I would have fired my corner. From the 6th round on, they gave the man nothing. Ultimately, the fight went the distance, with Klitschko being declared the winner by unanimous decision. The judges had it: 119, 110, 117, 111, and 118, 110 for Klitschko. Yeah, Ibragimov's corner gave him nothing. What? I mean, why do I have you all over there? I would have fired him immediately after the fight, before we even left the ring. I would have fired him on camera. Mm-hmm. I mean, damn, I'm coming to the corner. They silent. Well, I might just come over there by myself then. What the hell am I paying y'all for? Now, Klitschko reportedly earned $9 million for the fight. He donated $500,000 of his earnings to the Bronx's Laureus Sport for Good Foundation. And the fight was heavily criticized by observers and prominent boxing public figures. Boxing promoter, the Bob Father, calls the fight an absolute shame, while Dan Goosen described it as awful. Boxing journalist Bill Gantos pointed out that Klitschko fought for the majority of the fight only with his left hand, proving once again that he is the best heavyweight in the world right now. Santos also noted that such cautious safety-first style was not going to help Klitschko to increase his popularity in the United States. Some observers were more apologetic of Klitschko's performance. It's really irritating that so many people that know very little about boxing say that Klitschko dominance means stagnation for the heavyweight division. There's no denying that once Klitschko collects all the belts, he will go down as one of the all-time greats. Yes, he fights cautiously and isn't willing to exchange shots. But who told us that greatness in boxing is measured with the number of knockdowns? Okay? Why the boxer that is able to not get hit with a hard shot over the course of 12 rounds is less great than the champion from the past that sacrificed their health for the sake of success? Yeah. The object of the game is get your hand raised by the referee at the end, right? Now, on July 12, 2008, Klitschko faced mandatory challenger Tony Thompson. I don't know I think that's him and Tony. He faced mandatory challenger Tony Thompson. Okay? In Hamburg, Germany. Thompson had defeated a highly regarded German boxer, Leon Krasny, in the WBO World Heavyweight title eliminator almost a year earlier, right? Now, many observers predicted Thompson to be a tough challenge for Klitschko, expecting Klitschko to ultimately win by TKO in the second half of the fight, before the fighters would enter the championship rounds. Now, coming into the fight, Klitschko weighed in at 241 pounds, 6.5 pounds lighter than Thompson. Now, the opening rounds were tentative, with Klitschko seemingly struggling with Thompson's awkward southpaw style. Now, all three judges gave the first round to Thompson. In the second round, both fighters suffered a cut above the right eye after an accidental headbutt. Klitschko's eye began to swell after Thompson caught him with the right hook in the fifth round. After the sixth round, however, Klitschko appeared to have established his dominance in the ring, hurting Thompson with several straight right hands. After the seventh round, both fighters started showing signs of fatigue. In the 10th round, Thompson fell to the canvas during a clinch. It appeared as if Thompson fell down mostly due to being tired rather than being pushed by Klitschko. In the middle of the 11th round, Klitschko caught Thompson with the straight right hand, which Thompson did not see coming, falling to the canvas again, with the referee starting to count this time. Thompson beat the count, but was unsteady on his feet, prompting the referee to stop the fight. At the time of the stoppage, Klitschko was unanimously winning on the scorecards with scores of 98-92 times 2 and 98-91. Yep, Klitschko was winning on all three cards at the time of the stoppage. Now, in the post-fight interview, Klitschko admitted that the fight turned out to be tougher than he expected. He said, "It is not so easy to defend all the titles, and it has been a while since I last had a black eye. So today, I really look like a boxer. I did not expect the victory to come that hard." Okay, he admitted that Thompson was a little bit tougher than he thought he would be. Okay, and he reportedly earned $8 million for that fight. Yeah. I could get back on track. I was only one away. That was him and Thompson right there. Next, him it was Hasim Rockman. Klitschko versus Rockman. Wow. Man, I got a ways to go, and it's almost 3:40. Okay, Klitschko versus Rockman. Now, he was scheduled to face Alexander Povetkin in 2008, but on October 25th, Povetkin withdrew from the fight due to an ankle injury. So instead, he faced Hasim Rockman December 2008 and won by TKO, right? This was his third time fighting at SAP Arena in Mannheim, Germany. And he dominated the fight, winning every round while making good use of his left jab. Rockman seemed unable to withstand the Klitschko punch power. In the sixth round, Klitschko knocked Rockman down with a series of left hooks, leaving Rockman visibly disoriented. And Klitschko ended up winning by, he stopped him in the seventh round. And at the time of the stoppage, he was throwing a shutout, 53. He was scheduled to face David Haye in June of 2009, but Haye pulled out of the fight, right? A couple weeks before the fight, Haye pulled out because of a back injury. And then we had a few fighters like Alexander Povetkin, Chaz Witherspoon, James Toney, Wladimir Klitschko, Dominic Gwynn, and Eddie Chambers all expressed interest to replace David Haye to face Klitschko. Instead, he started negotiations with Ruslan Chagayev, who was ranked third best heavyweight in the world by the Ring Magazine and the WBA at that time, right? So he reached agreement with Chagayev, who agreed to step in for Haye as a last-minute replacement. Okay, he was also negotiating with Nikolai Valuev, but they waited the fight postponed until autumn, so he faced Haye. Now, some observers believe that Chagayev was a better challenger for Klitschko than Haye, given his position in the ranking and the fact that alongside WBO and IBF world titles, But they thought that Targayev was a better fight, was a better opponent than Hay was. Okay, I'm trying to rush now because we're running out of time. Now the fight took place at Valtinus Arena in Germany, right? And it had 61,000 fans. And this was the largest audience in a boxing fight in Germany since 1939, when Max Schmeling knocked out Adolf Houston in front of 70,000 people in Stuttgart. Now, Klitschko dominated the fight, keeping Chagayev at the end of his jab and throwing straight right hands whenever necessary. He dropped Chagayev near the end of the second round and was gradually fighting more aggressively as the fight went on. Okay. And yeah, Klitschko ended up winning the fight by corner retirement. Okay. Corner threw the towel in during the 10th round. Then in 2009, Eddie Chambers was his next opponent. I'll run through the rest of them. Eddie Chambers. Here's him and Eddie. No, that's the other one before that. That's Targayev. Him and Eddie Chambers. Okay. Now the fight turned out to be one-sided, with Klitschko winning rounds, keeping Chambers at the end of his jab and occasionally throwing straight right hands. In the opening rounds, Chambers lifted Klitschko and took him down several times, but was not deducted a point, nor warned about it, right? In between the championship rounds, Klitschko was criticized by his trainer, Emanuel Stewart, for not fighting aggressively, despite comfortably winning on the scorecards, right? And he did pick up his pace in the final round, and with a few seconds left, landed the left hook on Chambers' temple. The punch made Chambers fall forward and lose consciousness for an extended period of time. So he stopped Chambers in the final round. He fought Samuel Peter again. That was the second fight against Samuel Peter. Okay. Following the match with Chambers. Had a unification fight with Hay, who had the WBA title, appeared to be in the offing. Klitschko called out the Brit on YouTube in April 2010, stating, "I want to send this message to boxing fans and directly to David Hay. David, you bitched out on fighting both Klitschko brothers twice already, and now is the time to make it happen. On behalf of the boxing fans around the world and the Klitschko brothers, I am officially calling you out to fight me. You can't run away from me forever, and you need to follow through with this fight if you want to be respected. I'm ready. What are you waiting for?" Now, Hay's trainer, Adam Booth, indicated that Hay would be willing to accept the challenge. Both sides began negotiations for a potential fight. They did fight eventually, but I don't think it was this time. And the fight was targeted for September. As the negotiations continued to move forward, the unification fight between Klitschko and Hay was expected to take place in Germany rather than England. The IBF set a deadline to end negotiations on May 17th. A few days before the deadline, Hay said he was interested in fighting the older Klitschko, Vitaly, rather than Wladimir. And the fight did not materialize, and Klitschko was set to take on mandatory challenger Alexander Povetkin. Yep, still didn't fight Hay. Yeah. But him and Hay, eventually, they did fight. Eventually. He fought Alexander Povetkin. Okay, yeah, eventually he did fight David Hay. Let's fast forward to that. Alexander Vladimir Klitschko and David Hay. There they go. On January 5th, 2011, it was announced that Dirk Chisora would get his fight with Klitschko. This enraged David Hay's trainer, Adam Booth, who described the move as a disgrace on a heated live phone in with Sky Sports News. Booth alleged Hay had met every single one of Klitschko's demands. The fight against Chisora was rescheduled for April 30, 2011. It was going to take place in SAP Arena in Mannheim, Germany. However, on March 4th, it was announced that Klitschko had pulled out of the fight with Chisora due to not being fully recovered from a torn abdominal muscle. On March 5th, it was instead announced that the highly anticipated fight against David Hay would take place on July 2nd, 2011. Okay? The fight was contingent on Klitschko's recovery from a torn abdominal muscle. The contract was written so that if Klitschko was not fully healed, then Hay would fight his brother Vitaly. Okay? Klitschko fought Hay in a heavyweight unification fight for the WBA, IBF, WBO, IBO, and Ring Magazine heavyweight titles. Everything except the WBC was on the line. The fight took place at the M-Tech Arena in Hamburg, Germany on July 2nd, 2011. Klitschko and Hay agreed to a 50-50 split of the purse, and Hay was allotted 7,000 seats at the venue. Klitschko won by unanimous decision. The three judges scored it: 117-109, 118-108, 116-110, all in favor of Klitschko. Klitschko beat him wide. Now, according to CompuBox, Klitschko landed 134 of 109 punches thrown for 26.3%, while Hay landed 72 of 290 for 24.8%. Kind of close. Klitschko outlanded Hay in every round but the fourth round. Hay revealed after the fight that he had a broken toe on his right foot. No, don't do that, David. No. Here we go with the injuries after the fight. Then you should have postponed it. You know, they get that medical form before the fight. They can sign it or they cannot sign it. He evidently signed it because they had the fight. So no. Don't talk about no broken toe after the fight. No, don't do that. I'm not even going to read that. Okay, let's move on. He got beat widely. That's the bottom line, right? Then he went on. He fought John Paul Mormack? John Mark Mormack. He fought Thompson. I'm still way over here. Tony Thompson for the second time. And he fought Marlon Walk. Okay? Yeah, I got just about all his fights on here. That's Mormack. That ain't Mormack. That's Hay. It is Mormack. Man, that don't look like no Frenchman to me. Thompson and Walk. Yeah, that's right. Okay. And then after that, this was a long one. Pianetta, Alexander Povetkin finally fought him. Yeah, right, because that's Povetkin. And Leopold. He even fought Tyson Fury and AJ. Okay? Yeah. Trying to get to them. He was in there against Tyson Fury and AJ. I think that might have been his last couple fights. Yeah, this would have took me like 3 days to do this one. He fought Fury. Yeah, that's Fury. And he fought AJ. There's AJ. Let's look at his personal life real quick before we get up out of here. Retirement. On August 3rd, 2017, Klitschko announced on his official website and social media channel that he was retiring from boxing. He ended his professional career with 64 wins and 69 fights, 53 by knockout. He competed in 29 world title fights, Wladimir Klitschko. They say he fought in a weak era, but hey, that wasn't his fault. What era he fought in. We're not hold that against him. As we saw during the show, he fought damn near everybody, okay? So, yeah. And he is the longest reigning champion in boxing history. Now, his reign was broken up into two different reigns, but he got the longest. Joe Louis had the longest and second. Okay? Joe Louis has the longest and second, but Wladimir has the longest, like 4,000 some days. 82.8% knockout rate for Wladimir. Legacy. Legacy. Look at his legacy right quick. Winding down. Okay. During Klitschko's reign as world heavyweight champion, his fights would reportedly draw up to 500 million viewers worldwide. Klitschko has been named multiple times among the 100 highest paid athletes in the world by Forbes. He was ranked 24th in 2012, right? Estimated earnings, $28 million between June 2011 and June 2012. $28 million in 1 year. 41st in 2013, $24 million. 25th in 2014, $28 million. Okay. Klitschko was unranked by Forbes in 2016, despite considered national heroes in Ukraine in 2008. The Klitschko brothers were ranked number 15 in Inter's list of the 100 greatest Ukrainians, following a nationwide poll that saw around 2.5 million people casting their vote. Boxing fights involving one of the Klitschko brothers regularly attracted between 10 and 20 million viewers in Ukraine. Vladimir's fight against Alexander Povetkin generated even bigger viewership numbers, attracting 23 million viewers. Wladimir has been named multiple times among the 100 most influential people in Ukraine by Correspondent. He was ranked 95th in 2006. And his brother, Wladimir, is a mayor of Kiev over there. Okay. Okay, finally, personal life for Wladimir. From 2009, Klitschko was in a relationship with American actress Hayden Panettiere. Panettiere has appeared ringside at some of Klitschko's fights, including at Klitschko's 10th round knockout victory over Samuel Peter. The couple had a brief split in 2011, but were together again in 2013. In October 2013, Panettiere confirmed that she and Klitschko were engaged. They had one child together, a daughter born in December 2014. In August 2018, according to Panettiere mother, Leslie Vogel, the couple had split for a second time. They were said to be on good terms for the sake of their daughter. Okay? One child. Klitschko speaks 4 languages: English, German, Russian, and Ukrainian. On March 29, 2012, during a charitable auction in Kiev, Ukraine, Klitschko auctioned off his 1996 Olympic gold medal to a buyer who bid $1 million. Klitschko said he would use the money to help the dreams of hundreds of thousands of Ukrainian children. After the sale, the buyer immediately returned the medal out of respect for Klitschko and because he wanted it to remain with the Klitschko family. Wow. This person bought his gold medal for $1 million and then immediately after he bought it, he gave it back to him. Damn. I would have said, well, give me my $1 million back. You know what I mean? In February 2022, Klitschko joined the Kiev Territorial Defense Brigade. Right? That was a military reserve component of the Ukrainian armed forces. Both he and his brother Vitaly Klitschko, who has been mayor of Kiev since 2014, pledged to fight to protect the capital of Ukraine, Kiev, through armed forces in response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine that began on February 24, 2022. According to the Times, Vladimir and Vitaly were on Vladimir Putin's personal hit list of 24 high-profile Ukrainian figures whom he wanted assassinated. And there you have it, the life and career of Wladimir Klitschko. Okay? Just Do Boxing coming up next. I'll be back Monday. BBO Boxing TV, Just Do Boxing, Crush the Legend, Donnie Williams, Melanie Queen 27, Mike Grimm, Adari Pennant, Thomas Hill, Ray Patterson, Bruce Gass, Mike Masick, Miss Cass. Appreciate everybody. Join me Monday to start off another week of boxing history. Okay? Because if it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's the Boxtorian bringing you all that boxing history. Just Do Boxing straight ahead. This is Cass Sports. Everybody have a great weekend. I will see you around those JBT streets.